Better get your poses on.
There it is.
Perfect.
There it is.
Yeah, church with our family, we were always very involved with it, and it wasn't just sort of like a weekly thing for us. We, I got very involved in the youth groups, and so it wasn't just going to a building every Sunday and hanging out for an hour. It was actually like getting to know other families and getting to know, like I made a lot of friends at church and really connected with a lot of the leaders there. So church was very involved for us growing up.
I'd have to, same thing for us. I mean, we were always in church, youth group, the old RA's days back in Royal Ambassadors as a kid. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but shaking your head.
I know RAs, yeah.
But yeah, just grew up in church always, Sunday, Wednesday nights, different events. We were always there, just since I can remember.
So what's RA's days?
RA's?
I'm not a Shelby
Royal
County.
Ambassadors.
It's kind of like, have the Pine Warren Dobry cars,
Yeah,
and you build
yeah.
cars kind of like Boy Scouts, so it was a good
Did
time.
service projects
Yeah.
and stuff.
So yeah, it mirrors kind of what you all did. I remember, 9:30 in the morning, you get up, go to Sunday school. 11 o'clock was church, very traditional. Wednesday nights, dinners.
Yep.
Of course, youth group, going on trips, mission trips on the summers. Always remember those. So those are always good times and kind of lay the foundation for a lot of what I'm trying to relay to my kids today.
I'd say for me, probably youth, Jay Hardwick was big for me, in that youth age and on. I even still have a relationship with him now. So he was very instrumental in that for me.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, what happens in the group text stays.
Yeah.
Text ya.
Yeah,
We
we
can't.
can't really put any of that out there.
So,
It's confidential.
Yeah, you have to be a Matt.
yeah, right, right.
Is there a way that anonymous Matts can slide into the? No, I'm
I
just
don't
kidding.
think so.
There's a vetting process.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like the system's been really cool because now, like, if we can't be there one week, we just kind of reach out and say, hey, can somebody cover me? Or we figure out our weeks, a month in advance and get that all worked out. So that's been cool. Just working with, good people that are easy to work with. But then working with kindergartners is interesting. They, it's kind of like herding cats sometimes with them. And sometimes it's hard to gather their attention together, but they're also full of fun stories too. So like once you can actually get them to connect with you for, because we have that little small group time together, you actually get to know some of their stories a little bit better, and they'll actually say some like profound things here and there, and you're like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of cool. And so it's just neat to get to know them and get to know their stories.
Pro tip is always talk about superheroes, and you're in.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean,
Superheroes.
Yeah, if you can tie superheroes in with just the story,
Yeah.
they get it.
Yeah.
I've had to simplify instead of complicating it and saying all this speak, they sound like you know what you're talking about. You just talk, simplify to kids and make understanding faith and what God's done for us in very simple terms, where they can grasp it, and then it makes you grasp it because you have to break it down even more instead of using flowery words and concepts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really good word.
I like that.
Yeah, that is a really good way to put it because, these kids they're basically new believers, and so it gives you, I guess it gives you a way to be more comfortable in talking to maybe adults that are new believers too. So it's a good way to kind of relate that to the real world and myself because I'm not perfect by any means. So it's good to break stuff down and make it more simple for me to revisit and understand better as well.
To me, when a kid makes that decision, you know that they have a North Star in their life now. They have a compass. So as a parent, I'm supposed to, teach them and guide them, but then I know when I'm not around, they've always got that in their heart once they make that decision. With good and bad situations, they've got somebody to turn to other than me. They've got their heavenly Father versus their earthly father. So it's pretty big, I think.
Just knowing, like, you know, my boys are both still pretty young, but just that to being intentional in everything I do, that like they're always watching, you know, my kids, any kids I'm around, are always seeing how we act, even though we think they're not paying attention, they are. And just that we can have an impact on them through what we say, how we act, you know, what we do around them to lead them to that decision. And so just trying to be intentional with that and just making sure that the things I do reflect, you know, what I believe and how Jesus would want us to live, and just to set that example for them, be aware of that.
I know for me, especially with Harrison being the one that's getting baptized this week, it's kind of taught me to trust God with it more than my own judgment, because I get caught up in when Harrison, you know, talks to us about getting baptized, I get caught up in trying to sort of judge it and be like, is he really ready? And like I really try to question him on stuff and make sure that this is like a mature decision. But at the same time, I have to like step back and be like, just give it to God. Like he's made a decision, and God, you know, it's in God's capable hands at this point. And you're almost sacrificing. I don't know if it's pride on my part or what, but giving up myself and saying, okay, you know, Harrison's, you know, with God now. He's making a decision that he wants to do. Just trust it, trust God, and don't worry about, you know, don't sweat the small stuff with it. You know, just this is a big decision for him, and let him go forward with it, and you know, move forward with that relationship on his own. So it's hard a little bit. It's hard to give that up, but it's kind of taught me that. And if I'm not already crying when this video plays, I'm probably getting ready to, so nobody judge me in the audience, please.
Bring some sunglasses.
It's going to be an ugly cry, probably. Like, I don't cry often, but this will be one of those times. And